Yo, what up, gents? It's your boy Tyler here. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Crackle channel. Tonight we have such a cool one for you guys. The new old school Tank R. All right, this is the OST-R from Monarchy, as you can tell by this beautiful mat I have right here. All right, guys. This is the newest version, the R. The R stands for revised. This is the newest version of the OST, all right? And right here is the beautiful Fdama I have, all right? But this OST is completely different. It's like a nice, beautiful packaging and everything. Oh, well, breaking it as soon as I start filming, I start breaking, right? But guys, it is absolutely stunning. Absolutely freaking gorgeous in every way possible. New lock method for the top cap. All right. Well, it's not a new method, but just a new style right there. And as you can see, it's a tad bit longer. All right. I have the extended version on this. They also make a slimmed down version that's the same height as that. But guys, we will be going into all this, showing you how to build it and everything and all that jazz. But first, let's start it off with a little Crackle session, shall we? All right, guys, this is the one we built last night. All right, the Moth G2, and it came out absolutely stunning, man. I freaking love this RBA. It hits so nice. The OST DL from Monarchy. This is made in Poland. And this is also made in Poland right here, all right? Optimus mods. So gotta love my Polish vapes, man. Let's test it out. Beautiful. Oh man, it just, dude, guys, it hits so freaking nice. Absolutely breathtaking, man. But first up on our rings, I just want to show off some fidget rings. But this right here needs a mention, absolutely. All right, this is the Monarchy ring from El Rana. All right, and this is all 0.925 silver. All right, you can see right there, 0.925%. And guys, that is just so gorgeous. The detail in there looks so nice. Absolutely stunning. When I saw Jacek first offer this, I had to get it, man. It doesn't fit me at all. I have way too fat of fingers. But hey, it's a nice piece to have, you know? I love it. Next up on the list, guys, we have the TC from Monarchy. All right, the Zelda TC sitting in the Moyard Espo. All right, this is Go Yard, but it's actually Moyard when Monarchy does it. We got some Monarchy buttons and a Monarchy Ultra Whistle, clocking in at 35.367 ohms. I love the board theme for the, look at that. So one way you can't see the barbed wire or the little chicken wire, but then when you tilt it, you can. I love that. It's kind of two-tone. TC is such a ripper. Oh man, that's so freaking delicious. 4.6 millimeter airflow. Thank you very much. And guys, next up on the ring, we have the Lauti eye mechanic ring. All right, this just has one function. Nice stress reliever. That's all it does. But hey, when you're cruising down the road, that is all you need right there. All right, guys, and last but not least, we have the Fdama. The Fdama OST DL. All right, this thing is so nice. Nice juice lock control system. All right, so when that's fully closed, that's the juice is off. When it's open like that, it's fully open. Nice little air holes. The two air holes indicate that is DL. So if this was the regular OST, it would just have one hole right there. Let's go ahead and check her out. Absolute Jack the Ripper. And when you want a little bit more juice flow, just open that top up and Dude, that hits so nice. So freaking nice. And guys, the last thing on the fidget rings, all right, is we have this beautiful Mechanic C Lauti Spy Wars mechanic ring. All right, so this has a series of magnets in it that you can either put in or take out. So I only have one magnet at the top and one magnet at the bottom. So it kind of spins and then the magnets stop it. But that sound is just gorgeous. I love that. And guys, you know it wouldn't be a gentleman's video without a ripski. All right. Cheers, fuckers. Let's do it. And with that, we shall begin. All right, guys. Let's take a look at what we got right here. I'm gonna zoom in a tad. Love that monarchy, man. It's nice and rubber feel. Love that. But beautiful packaging always from Monarchy. Old school tank R. All right. Pull up and fill it up. All right. So we're gonna show you guys exactly what that means. I love this kind of recycled paper vibe, the crunched up vibe. I love that. Just has such a nice look to it. Gives it that nice old school appearance, you know. And of course, you got the little felt baggie. All right, that is a 100% dust magnet, but hey, that's cool. But yeah, guys, there she blows right there. You can see, so we have a Mo Yard, which is Monarchy's signature Go Yard engraving, going all the way around. So I'll find out the exact capacity amounts, but I believe the smaller one is 3 milliliters, and then this one here is 4 or 5 milliliters. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely get that in the comments. I'll get the right dimensions and capacity, and I'll write them in the comments for you guys. All right, so it's a nice before on the OST. It kind of had this heat sink vibe going on right there. In the OST-R, it's kind of like just straight up, you know, a nice streamlined design rather than this, you know, it's almost cascading down each time. You know what I'm saying? It gets bigger and bigger the more you go down, or smaller and smaller the more you go up. All right, so this is kind of a more of a refined look. Has a more of appearance, has more of a design as all the other RTAs out there. You know what I'm saying? It has that just that really nice streamlined look. But so what was different about the OST and the OST-R is before, if you, hold on, let me turn this juice lock on. So if you wanted to open up and get into the top cap, you would have had to twist this just like this and then kind of wiggle it back and forth to get it open. And that's how you would pop the top off. So some people liked it, some people didn't. You know, I didn't mind it, but at first, when I first had it, I was trying to get it open. I was like, how the hell do you get this open? And that's when I figured out, oh, you have to kind of wiggle it back and forth. But hey, it did eventually get open. So what's cool about this OST-R is to open it up, instead of juggling around at the top, you just do that same twisting motion and it opens up just like that. Sorry, I was cleaning this out right before I started reviewing it, so it might be a little dirty on top, but hey, that's just water. So you can see beautiful machining. I always love the machine marks in Monarchy's RTAs. It just gives it gives it such personality. You know what I'm saying? Gives it such personality. But yeah, you just have your two hooks right here at the end, and then that's what goes in at the top, and that's what locks it into place. This top part also comes off. All right, so it's just one big giant piece. And then Yasik, the maker of this tank, he also offers hang on, let me clean that little bit of mess out right there. Hang on. Sorry guys, I didn't want to disrespect the Monarchy name like that by having juicy everywhere. All right, but so This is essentially the top cap piece you have. And Yasik, the maker, actually makes different full like hybrid tips that go on there. So like he makes like a duck one. I ordered the accessories, so I'll do an updated video when the accessories come. But this is just the Mo Yard edition of the Addy. All right, so this is the extended Mo Yard edition of the Addy, and then we can open her up. All right, we just unscrew it just like that. And this will show you this right here. This is where you would change it out to go to the smaller tank. All right, so you can get this in a smaller version, and that would be the regular stock version. This is the extended right here. All right, so you get a lot more capacity in there. But as you can see, that's the inside right there. All right, and this little piece just pops off. Well, it does pop off, but my fingernails can't get in there. But that's the whole. You can see the juice mechanism in there. All right, so that's open, and we turn it, and that's closed. See that? So you can see the full mechanism right there. You can see it going open, and you can see it going closed. All right, so this is how you would change out if you wanted to go to if you had the other accessory to go to the smaller one. This is how you would change it out right there. All right, but we're gonna leave that closed, and we're gonna show you guys the deck. Oh, here's the bottom of it. Old school R. All right, Poland, made in Poland. Old school tank. Nice. All right, so this is a little bit different from what we see on here. All right, so the older one, the first one doesn't have, well, let me get this off of here. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, here's the bottom of the old school tank, the regular one, and then the R. All right, so as you can see, when it is fully open, it doesn't really have this knurling right here. So that's why it's just a little bit indented. This one has a longer indent. All right, so it looks like, is the deck? Yeah, the deck's the same size, but it also has this new little line going through there. All right, so in order to take it off, when you twist it, you'll feel it kind of pop loose right there. All right, so it just kind of, bam, kind of comes apart. So this is the whole deck right here. It borrows the same post as the MV, the Monarchy MV. So you have to take off one of these grubs completely in order to put a coil through. And I'll show you guys exactly how we're gonna wick this thing because it's pretty cool. But what I noticed, what's different about this R is, look at, you can see the pin. You can see the pin number right there at the bottom. So this is ID 3.5, and on the DL, you couldn't see the or you can kind of see it. Like you see, it's kind of up there a little bit. So you can really make it out. You could kind of make it out, but you have to really know what you have in there to know what it is. So still the same bottom screw, but I like how you can fully see what ID you have in there. All right, so let's go ahead and take this airflow pin out and show you guys how to use it. All right, I got my little driver right here, and we're just gonna unscrew this bottom piece right here, all right? And this whole deck will come apart right here. Just kind of have to be careful, all right? But as you can see, here's the airflow pin, and it says the ID right on there, ID 3.5. So what comes in the spares, you get a bunch of O-rings, you get a bunch of grubs and stuff like that, but let's see what kind of airflows these come with. So we have an ID 2, all right, ID 2 millimeters. We have an ID 2.5 millimeters. And we have an ID probably 3 millimeters. I'm going to guess 3 millimeters. ID 3 millimeters, all right? So that's the stock pins. You can also get an MTL kit, all right? So Yasik sent me the MTL kit too. And in here, we get a ID 1.2. We get an ID 1.5. We get an ID 1.8 and an ID 1. All right, so a bunch of different ones in MTL. So there's already a dedicated OST, just the regular one, and that's MTL. So that comes with only one juice port at the bottom. It's the MTL Addy, and it already comes with the MTL pins. This is just an MTL pin kit because you can technically turn the DL Addy into an MTL Addy just by changing the airflow pins out. But that's I just kind of wanted to show you guys the gist of the airflow pin system and how cool it is, how easy it is to change it out. But let me go ahead and throw this airflow pin back in, and we shall throw this on the build tab. Guys, one other thing I wanted to show is before the OST regular, the regular one, the OG one, you see that 510 leg kind of stuck out a little bit farther than this one. So when on some Addies, this would kind of stick out a little bit and there would be a little gap. So on the OST-R, he definitely addressed the problem and made it just a tad bit smaller. You see that? So I like that Yasik listened to us and acted accordingly. Thank you, Yasik. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this ready to throw in a build tab. Let me get out my tools. We have the Vecto 2 kit from GraphX. Nice. All right, let's get our choppers out. Let's get our ID out. And let's get our skizzers out because we already have our driver out. All right, and this driver, oh, no, we don't have our driver out. I used this flathead to get that airflow pin out. We need this one right here. And this is a Hexome, Jesus, I keep dropping everything. What the hell? Hexome 1.5, all right? Let's get it. I love this little build. I love this little build tab. It has a room for Addy just like that. All right, let's get this off of there. Boom, comes right off. And let's get this thing screwed on here. Nice and tight. No, not too tight. Just right on there. All right, so in order to get this coil on here, guys, we're going to have to fully take off one of these grubs. And so it doesn't go flying everywhere, I suggest doing it just like that, so it doesn't go flying everywhere. And we can just open this one up just a little bit to get that leg in. All right. So for today's coils, guys, JJ, with that Crackle Bay, he also sent me out these ones, the BoroBamgerz. All right. This is JJ handmade coils. All right. And these are this is a Nichrome 80 2.5 millimeter ID coming out to a 0.28 to a 0.30. All right. Thank you, JJ, for sending these over, bro. The one from yesterday was really good, so can't wait to use these. Cause one of the gents, Michael Forgash, he was like, bro, try these other ones out next. So hey, I am stoked to use it. Absolutely stoked to use it. All right, guys. So we are gonna let me zoom in now. Alrighty. And we're just going to gently place this in right yonder. Get this go in that hole. Yep, perfect. And slide that over a little bit. All right, so the first one we're going to do is this one that's already in there. Remember, we're not tightening down too much, just enough to hold it in place. All right, now we're going to get this other one ready. And get your grub on here. And I believe this is magnetic, so it's going to hold it in place. Nice, that just screws in just like that. We don't want it too tight. All right, just like that. And what we're going to do now is snipperson. All right. And Yasik gives you a little bit of a groove in there to cut your leads at. Perfect. And now what we're going to do is get the rest of these leads in here. This is why I tell you not to tighten it down all the way, because you're just going to loosen it back up to push these in. And then give it a nice little tighten. All right. Same with this side. We're going to loosen it up a little bit. Loosen it up just enough to stick that in and tighten down. All right, and those should be flush on there. All right, guys, so when you first stick your coil in, it's going to be a little high like that. All right, so this is where I like to have it at. This is where I like to have it. Let me show you. Make sure this is all lined up. Roll it back a little bit if it's not perfectly centered. And we're going to take it and just a little bit. Now, with my RTAs, I don't like to move it down a whole lot. I like to have it just about there. I'm going to move it down just a tad bit more, guys. Just a tad bit more. Right there. Right there. That is right where I like these coils in the OST DL, or the OST-R DL. All right, we're going to go right about there. So let's go ahead and get ready to fire this thing up. We're at 10 watts already. Let's see what the cold ohms are. Measure 0.16. Cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so remember when we first start firing, we're going to see a little bit of smoke. Yep, right on schedule. See that? And we're just looking for a gold color first. So we're pulsing at 10, and we're just going for a nice little gold color first. Oh yeah, that's turning gold to me, huh? Looking nice and gold. We can bring it up to 12 now. All right. A little bit more power going through, so it should be turning a little bit more red now. All right, getting a little bit. Let's get a little bit more even. Let's go to 13.5. Oh yeah. I just need this last little guy to glow down there. There we go. That's glowing nice. That's glowing nice. Let's remeasure now, huh? 0.28. Nice. Nice. All right, let's go up here. Let's go to 15 watts, or let's go to 16, huh? Let's go to 16. And that's glowing beautifully. That's glowing beautifully. Let's bring this up to 18. Let's see what that's like there. Nice. Ooh, guys, is it looking like a? Even glow? Yeah, we're even glowing on the old school tank car from Monarchy. Yeah. Oh yeah, even glow. Guys, thank you. Hey guys, I'll be here all night, right? Thank you so much. All right, so let's bring this up to 25. All right. Let's see what we got there. Nice. Nice. And then what we're building at 20. All right. Let's see. Or 20, 30. I mean 30. Ready? Let's check her out. Nice. That is glowing so nice, guys. And for today's cotton, we have some big ass Mav in a bag. Mav in a bag. Mav in a bag. It's Mav in a bag. I need to make a theme music for Mav now. Mav in a bag, Mav in a bag, it's a Mav in a bag. All right, let's go ahead and get a nice little ripski. A ripski of some cotton. Hang on, I think we're going to cut this piece. Wait, let's see. Let's see, guys. Yeah, I'm liking this piece right here. I'm a looking, and I'm a liking. All right. Let's go ahead and get ready to cut this right yonder. right down yonder. And we're going to cut this right up yonder. Right down yonder and right up yonder. So we got a nice little piece to work with. And then we're going to try to fold this weird as hell looking piece up. Oh, that's why it was stuck back there. That's why. Bam. All right. Got that folded as much as possible. Back in the bag you shall go. All right, guys. So here we got some cotton, and what I'm going to do first is just kind of get it to where we can work with it. All right. So we're not going to use that much. Let's go ahead and cut this about right yonder. Right about there, guys. All right. So first thing we're going to do is I can already see through this already, so this should be good to roll up. Let me just take off these little pieces right here at the end. And we're just going to kind of roll this up ever so nicely. But we're going to cut off this end right here. Right? Just like that, guys. Just like that. And that's actually looking like a little too much. I couldn't get my scissors all the way in. So let me just go ahead and rip this little bit off right here at the end. All right, and you guys know the American hot dog roll, right? The American hot dog roll. All we're doing is just forming it right there, guys. That's all I'm doing in the American hot dog roll, is just forming it. All right, let's get this ready. Kind of shape it right there. And we are going to install this bad boy. All right. Pull it through. A little bit of back and forth action, nothing crazy. And now, guys, what we're going to do is we are going to cut this cotton just a hair past the deck. All right, guys? Just a hair past the deck. So probably like right about there. All right. And about a hair past the deck, so about right there. About right there. All right, guys? So now what we're going to do is look at all this cotton here on the side. Definitely don't need all that part. Definitely don't need all that. Go ahead and just cut that guy out of the party already. All right, guys. So now what we're going to do is, actually, I don't know if it's probably easier to take it off. Here, guys, what we have to do is we have to totally take the Addy off the build stand. All right. Totally 100% take the Addy off the build stand. If you're building on a longer, building on a longer mod, you can probably do it if you have access to the sides. But we have to fully take that off the build tab. All right, now that we got that fully off, we're just gonna take this and kind of fan it all around. We're definitely not gonna use this much cotton. Not at all. Not at all. That is way, way, way too much right there. We're going to kind of trim that up. We just want to kind of fan it all around first. All right, it doesn't have to be too pretty, but just kind of get it separated. All right, guys, so it should be looking crazy like that. We're going to get this side taken care of first. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go up right underneath here, guys, and we are going to trim at a nice 45, taking all this off. Taking all that off. See that? And then we can kind of go up here and trim off that right there. All right, trim off those tops. Boom. All right, let's go over to this side. We're going to get nice 90-degree and boom. And Get the front cleaned up a tad. And the rest of the top. Just like that, guys. All right, just like that. There's a lot more here on the side, so I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit. A little bit too much on each side. Oh, didn't mean to hit the camera. All right, that is looking pretty nifty. That is looking pretty nifty. All right, let me see if I can trim up any more on the side. You want it to be nice and thin, or else it is going to choke up. Or else it will choke up. All right, so now we can put this back on the build tab, or back on your mod, or whatever you're using to build on. And now, guys, what we're going to do is we are going to get this cotton. Definitely don't want to fire it. Get this cotton right there. All right, right inside that little channel. Because that's where the cotton's going to touch the liquid at. And it's going to, by capillary action, it's going to go up that way. All right, so same thing goes with this. Kind of group it together. And kind of press it up against this channel right here. All right, there's different methods to wick this. This is just, I found the best that works for wicking Crackle. When you want to wick some good, fast-paced, rapid action Crackle. This method I find works the best. And it took me a while to figure this out. But you guys know where I learned this at? From watching Chuck from BMM, watching him wick the Colt. That's how he did the Colt. He took the Colt off and he cut it at a 45. So I'm like, hey, the OST kind of has the same kind of vibe going as the Colt. Let me try it on the OST. And boom, it worked. Because I could not wick this at all. For like 7-8 tries in a row. I was like, oh my God, what the hell? But that's how I find works best. Right there, guys. All right. So now what we're going to do is paint this guy up. That's exactly how you want the cotton, just like that. All right, guys. So for today's juice, we have some Dolce. It doesn't say Dolce on there. It just says Nana's Pudding. But this is a really good Nana's Pudding from Dolce. All right. Some 6 milligram made in May 10th of this year. So this has been steeping. Nice. Look at that glow. Look at that freaking glow. I cannot wait. Let's go ahead and shake this around a little bit. Get it all nice and mixed up. And then, guys, you know the drill with Mav. We're going to juice, pulse, all right? Just kind of paint the top real quick. All right, when this one stops working, you got to bust out the old tried and true. You know, let's get this on here. Don't want to mess up the cotton. Trying to avoid touching that side whatsoever. And, yep, that should be good now. All right, let's continue to pulse this fucker, shall we? Oh, yeah. That's getting on there. That's getting on there nice and neat. Woo-wee! That is some good sounding Crackle. And that juice smells so good. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. And this is the pain in the ass that comes with wicking Mav on the OST. Alright, you gotta paint everything. I love how some juice just loves to escape down there. Come on, you. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere, juice. Give yourself up. Alright, let's get back to business. Let's paint these guys. Alright. We're just painting and painting. We're just painting and a painting. Alright. Oh, jeez. Look at you, bro. Come on. Why are you doing this to my nice tried and true, huh? Alright, guys, let's hear it. Woo-wee! Let's hear that 34, shall we? Johnny, bro, what the fuck, man? You sound good, dude. JJ Handmade Coils in the house, bro. Hell yeah, man, that sounds good as hell. And that's the only problem with Wicking this Mav. It is a juicy, juicy mess. But I promise it is so worth it at the end. It is so worth it. Jeez, it is just spilling. I don't want the screen to go out, damn it. It is just spilling all throughout the sides. All throughout the sides. Dang. Sorry, guys. I just hate having, juice everywhere when I'm building. All right. That's looking pretty good, though. That is looking pretty darn nice. All right. Just want to make sure that's all painted before I seal the deal. Make sure that juice is all in there. All right, and a good way to do that is to actually touch the cotton. All right, this right here will let it absorb into there just by touching it, just by moving it around a little bit. All right, you can see it starting to absorb right there. Jeez. That is a juicy, juicy, juicy mess. All right. Let's press this down a little bit. And you can see the Mav expanding now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. That is looking good. See that? When you just touch it, it starts all absorbing. You don't want to cap this with any white showing. All right, when you cap this with white, you have a chance of it just not wicking right at all. All right, so that looks pretty good like that, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to line up those two holes and these right here, and they kind of go, they kind of go right after it. Right there, right there. All right. Let's go ahead and twist that off. Bam. And let me wipe that off. Hang on. All right. Always keep your equipment nice and neat. That is my motto. Always make sure. Ooh, geez, earthquake. Earthquake, I will build. All right, guys. So we can kind of suck out the top to kind of clear that bottom pin. And I think that looks good. So this right here is in the open position when you see that little notch. When you see that little notch over here and this is over here, that means it's in the closed position. So we want this fully closed before we open up this top like that. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see it fill down here, but we can't really see any of it in the middle. But hey, that's the design of it. All right. You slowly see it fill up. And I'm going to call it about right there. Yep, that looks pretty good to me. And get this top on. Yep. Now we can move this. Bam. And that is fully saturated at the bottom. Oh, you can see a little bubble coming. See that? Nice. When you see that bubble, that means it's getting liquid in there perfectly. Oh yeah, that is really good right there. All right, guys, for the mod, we are going to be using, let me get this out of the way. For the mod, we're going to be using the Strangers mod, all right? Love this side-by-side, the J Hayes edition, all right? Let's get this on here, and let's have a little turning party. Bam. Nice. All right, we are at 32 watts. Let me bring this up to about 35. All right. Yep, I think that's good right there. Let's test her out. All right, guys, 35 watts. Oh my God, that sounds so good. All right, guys, you know the drill. I will see you up top. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I love that I can just control the light to the flick of a button, you know? Hey, if we want to do a green vibe, want to do a yellow vibe, want to do a red vibe, hey. But I think this OST deserves the purple vibe, man. Purpled out. But dude, let's look how beautiful she is. Absolutely enthralling. Hang on. That looks so good. Especially on this mod right here too. Kind of fills it up all the way to the top. Strangers mod, made in Italy. High quality mod, high quality RTA equals awesome fucking time. Let's hear it. Just that stank on it, bro. I literally can't even right now. That is so freaking good. Oh my God. That is so freaking good, dude. Johnny Johnson, bro. What the fuck, man? You have no business making coils as good, man. I'm totally, dude, your coils are so fucking good, bro. Those are really, really good. I cannot highly recommend those enough, man. Those are some really, really banging coils right there. And that Nana's pudding, bro. That Nana's pudding from Tom O'Halloran from Dolce. Dude, that stuff is lit. Oh my God. It tastes like I just pulled out banana bread out of the oven, put some butter on it, and made a pudding out of it. You know what I'm saying? I taste all the notes of it, man. Oh my God. And it just wicks like a dream. It wicks like an absolute dream, man. You got to make sure to get it cut at that angle. If you want to do crackle wicking, you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to do a loose crackle wick and get that nice saturated hit every time, it's good to cut it at that angle, cut the tops off and kind of trim the sides up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You just want a nice streamlined piece cascading down from the deck. But man, that looks so freaking killer. Hang on, where's the OST DL? Forgot to put my ring on too, my monarchy ring. You know what I'm saying? But guys, look at that. Look at the difference of the OST DL versus the R. All right, same kind of wicking style. Actually, identical wicking style, but the aesthetics just make it so pleasing right there. And the motherfucker just wicks and works and wicks and works, bro. It is so good. And then if you feel the juice ever choking up a little, you can just pop that top off just a tad. Just let the slightest little bit of airflow come in, and it'll bring it right back to cranking. That same trick, you know. So that was the OST-R deal. Here's the OST deal. So you can kind of hear that crackle changes a little bit from being in the bigger tank versus this one. That OST-R just hits so fucking nice, man. Yasik sent this to me, but of course he just had the dock for these, and I saw all the cool versions he did, so of course I got a bunch of accessories for this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that is an RTA I will be using for a long time, man. It's so easy to wick. You get great flavor, and it's just straight rapid fire crackle the whole time. Just absolutely amazing, man. I cannot have enough good things to say about that. Yasik always knocks things out of the park, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just when he first posted this, I was blown away by it. I was like, dude, that thing is gonna fucking rock. And then, I didn't know he was gonna send it to me. All of a sudden, I just got a DHL tracking in the mail, and all of a sudden, this showed up. So I was like, dude, Yasik, thank you so much, man. I cannot have enough gratitude for him, man. Thank you so much, man. I love this thing so much, and I wanted to give it a nice video for it. You know what I'm saying? Show you guys how to properly wick it for crackle wicking. All right, guys. So I will get the capacity and the dimensions down in the comments. All right, guys. I know I always forget that, but I will try to make it a habit to always put the capacity and dimensions in a video. But dude, I can just not stop staring at that thing, man. It is fucking gorgeous. You need the lights on to fully see it. You need the lights on to fully appreciate that bad boy. You can kind of see it says monarchy up here, and old school tank is engraved all the way at the top. But so fucking good, man. I can sit here and vape this whole fucking tank down. Ooh, guys, you already know. Got the Monarchy Mob King shirt on. Had to, man. Had to. Monarchy ring. Monarchy build mat. Dude. Monarchy's #1 fanboy right here, man. You're looking at him. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? This thing, this is so baller, bro. I love this so much. Those coils in there rock. This whole setup is just absolutely banging. I'm just rambling right now, so let's guys, at this time, I'd like to thank the following people if I could. All right, members of the Ultimate Kings. Let's get it going. Let's click this bad boy on. Let's get her rolling up to speed. Bam. All right, let's do this. Oh yeah. All right, guys, I would like to thank the following members of the Ultimate Kings: Robert Ford, Chris Greek, Lucille Joanne, Michael Forgash, Robert Shkreli, James Patrick, Dominic Giles, James Hatton, CJ Castillo, Dong Hyok Lee, Clinton Starr, Andrew Williams, Bowen Wang, Joey Little, Sleepy McNoodle, Nick Cristiano, Daryl Montana, Juan Jackson, Michael Stevens, and Chris Romans. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Ultimate Kings. That's the Patreon I have. If you guys are interested in the Patreon, I'll leave links down below. It's a lot of fun. You get a free set of coils. And if you join the Ultimate Kings, which is the biggest tier, you also get a free bag of Maviton X cotton, the same cotton I used in this video. All right, so you get a nice little introduction prize, for joining, and you also get thrown into the group chat. All right, so we have so much fun in that group chat. It's lit 24/7, man. We have so much fun in there, guys. That alone is worth joining because we have so much fun in there. But no, also I release the videos early to the Ultimate Kings. They get it first. The next tier that gets them is the Crackle Kings, and then the third day I release it out to the wild. So if you're interested in seeing the videos early, I'll leave a link down to the Patreon down below. We also have a Discord server. All right, there's a BST thread, Crackle thread, mail thread, TGCC videos thread, and that shit is lit 24/7 too, man. We have so much fun in there. We have a Facebook Hangout groups group, the Gentleman's Crackle Channel Hangout. So just search it on Facebook and you'll find it. we're always doing giveaways and special drops in there and everything. So that's worth checking out too. But yeah, that's all the info I got to give about that. But back to this OST-R. She is such a looker and she is such a ripper. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. I cannot recommend this thing enough. We definitely have to give it some. All day. That definitely deserves a song and dance from the duck. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Guys, I cannot say enough good things about this OST-R. If Yasik does another drop for these, I would definitely highly recommend grabbing one. I know Vape has them, or they'll be getting some, and I don't know who else is gonna get them, but definitely they're definitely worth grabbing, 100%. It just wicks and works like an absolute dream, man. Oh my god, it works so nice. That perfect rapid fire crackle, man. I cannot stress enough how good that is. It's so fucking good. And that the little peak accent you have on top, all right? Little peak tip, beautiful. All right, guys, we'll do one more rip and we'll call it a video. All right, guys, cheers. Oh, that is so fucking good. Oh my god, I'm getting so lightheaded just hitting that. But guys, make sure to like, subscribe, share the video, all that jazz. I appreciate the viewers of the channel. Make sure to leave feedback in the comments. I read all the comments and I try to implement whatever you guys say into the next video. So thank you guys for giving me feedback and all that stuff. So thank you to the viewers of the channel. Thank you to the Patreons, the Discord server members, the Facebook group Hangout members. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later. Love ya. Peace.